welcome back to another video, guys. And today we're going to be talking about, I know we're heading into the summertime, springtime, but in other parts of the world right now, such as Australia and, below the belt, guys, there is, winter's coming. So I don't want to feel left out for those people. And so I decided that, I'm going to give you some of my winter staples. Some of the colognes that I wear in winter, some of the colognes I wear in fall going into winter, and some of the ones I wear at end of summer heading into fall. So these are all, relatively, different prices. You can find some of these at discounters for good prices. You can find some of them on, retailers for a decent price. You just have to do a little bit of looking, but I'm sure you can find these for a reasonable price for what they are. So without further ado, let's jump right in. First up, one of my favorites, Tom Ford Ombre Leather. This is one of the best. This is one of the best leather, violet leaf, and dare I say patchouli. I don't know if there's patchouli in this, but this smells so nice. This is hands down one of my favorite scents to wear in the wintertime. Beast mode projection. I only really spray about, I think, 6 sprays of this. And you get really good projection, you get really good longevity, and one of the best fragrances with leather. I think this is a staple. A lot of people love this. To me, this is one of the best leather scents, period. Now, one of the only downsides about this, literally one of the only downsides, is that this is strictly a winter scent. I would not wear this in like the summer or the springtime or going into fall. This is strictly a winter scent. So end of fall going into winter. It's just that the leather is a little too strong sometimes, and it comes off, a little funky in the summertime. That's just me personally though. But a lot of people do rock this year round, and for those people, kudos. But to me personally, I stick with this with just the winter. Now this is a really good beast mode projection. I get 10 hours of longevity on this. And this is also a fragrance that a lot of women tend to love. I don't know what it is. It just comes across real masculine, real dark, brooding almost. Giving almost that bad boy image. So if you really like that, this is easily one of the best, for that. I think I bought this bottle for about $90 on a discounter for this 100 ml. And it's been really good for me. So yeah, there you go. Tom Ford Ombre Leather, number 1. Number 2, I have one of my staples. What I do is I mix ombre leather and this together. But we'll get to that later. This is MFK's Grand Soir. This is hands down, my favorite MFK. I had 2 other MFKs at one point in time, and both of them to me weren't nearly as good as this. In my opinion, this is the best MFK. And the reason why I say this is because, obviously there's a lot of people who love Baccarat Rouge 540. There's a lot of people who love Oud Satin Mood. And those were the other 2 that I had. I personally am not a big fan of Oud Satin Mood. I don't think it is necessarily bad. I just don't like the rose and oud combination as much as a lot of other people do. This is right up my alley though. This is a beautiful evening scent. Perfectly ambery, warm, a little vanillic. This isn't gourmand. This is not a gourmand. This is a beautiful evening, almost, dare I say a little dressier scent. If you're wearing a suit and you're going to an evening gala, or you're throwing on some nice pajamas, going to bed, you could rock this, obviously, but one of the occasions definitely has a more forward approach. And this, in my opinion, is one of the best evening scents. It's this beautiful ambery, vanillic, benzoin-ic smell. It smells fantastic. To me, this is one of the staples that I have going into fall and winter. Also, performance, this is not a sleeper. I get about 10 to 12 hours of this on my skin. 10 hours on projection-wise, and then about the last 2 to 3 hours are all on skin. But that's all you really need. The performance on this is definitely not lacking. Now, this is one of the earlier batches, and this performs very, very well. Some of the latter batches have been reformulated, and they don't perform nearly as much, but you can still find plenty of bottles of the first batch And I would wholeheartedly recommend getting a 35 ml because that's really all you need. I only spray 2 sprays of this every single time I use it. But MFK Grand Soir, really, really good. And now moving forward to probably my favorite scent, probably the most glazed scent on all of the internet at one point in time. This is hands down probably, it deserves all the glaze. This is hands down one of the best scents of all time. This is PDM Layton. Ah, man. When people glaze this, the reason why they glaze this is because it performs. It smells incredible. Women love it. And you can get this bottle, this 125 ml bottle, for less than $200 at discounters. For all of that, you get a beast mode fall and summer projecting, really, really mass appealing, you know, super, super beautiful, just gorgeous scent that I'd be hard pressed to find somebody who doesn't like this smell. It is just that good, that beautiful in my opinion. Now there are people that don't like the scent profile because they say that it makes them smell like Vicks Vapor Rub. Now I see where they're getting that, but that's with any Germanium fragrance. If there's no Germanium, like the flower inside of this, it's gonna give you that Vicks Vapor Rub type vibe. But I personally don't get that. And I've used Vicks growing up my entire life. I personally don't get that. This to me is a warm apple pie with a hint of green apple, fresh, gourmandy, not too in your face, not too out of your face. It's like the perfect balanced blended scent. To me, this deserves all the hype in the world. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous. As you can see, my bottle's almost dying on me. I've had this for a long time and I've used it a lot too. To me, this is just a beautiful scent. And if I was anybody, if I was trying to get a gift for my dad, for my brother, for, you know, anybody, this would be the one I'd get. Moving forward. Now this last one is going to be a bit controversial. A lot of people, including me, love this scent. We do. But then a lot of people also hate the scent for what it's become and love its old counterpart, which I also understand. I've smelled both and I'll give you my honest review on it, but I understand that as well. So without further ado, let's get to it. This is Tom Ford Oud Wood. Now, Oud Wood is, in my opinion, a super sexy, super clean, woody scent. I know it says oud in here, but I don't really get oud. I get a lot more fresher cedar wood, a little bit of sandalwood in there. This is really just a woody scent that smells real masculine, real fresh. Now, the reason why this is controversial is because this is one of the newer batches. I got this at a discounter for, I think, 160 bucks. But you can buy an older bottle of this for a lot more money. So people ask me, Irvish, what is the difference between the newer bottles and the older bottles? And I tell them older bottles just perform better. A 50 ml of the older bottle will perform better than this. And there's a reason for that. So Oud Wood recently was reformulated a few years back. And so now it doesn't have nearly the strength that it once used to. The older batches, you're talking 8 to 10 hours on your skin. Really, really good projection. These newer ones are more like 6 hours. I get about 4 hours on skin projecting and then 2 hours on the skin just where I can smell it. That's not to say that this isn't a great scent. I still think this is a great scent. If you can find for the right price, it's a beautiful scent. I think that this is hands down one of the most classy scents a man can wear. It's just super nice, super classy. It's inoffensive. I think a lot of people are mad that the prices on Tom Fords have gone up, which I understand, trust me. But there's a lot of discounters where you can get them for a really, really good price. And so, you know, just look around. If you really want to try a Tom Ford scent, just look around. I'm sure you'll find one for a decent price. And so now let's get all of them back in here. We have Tom Ford, Ombre Leather, MFK, Grand Soir, PDM Layton, and then Tom Ford Oud Wood. So if I had to rank these in terms of my personal preference, I'm gonna go, I like all of them, to be honest, because I own bottles of all of them. But if I had to go from my personal preference, so let's start for fall. For fall, I would go, this would be last, for ombre leather would be last, then Grand Soir, then Oud Wood, and then Leighton. This would be my fall my fall lineup. I would choose Tom Ford last. I would choose Grand Soir second to last, and then Oud Wood would be second, and then Leighton would be number one. For winter, I'm changing this, and this. Oud Wood would be last, just because the performance just doesn't, it's not there. Ombre Leather would be second last. PDM Leighton would be 2, and then Grand Soir would be number 1. I think this is a perfect lineup for anybody who's trying to get into winter scents. Now, I know that these are a little bit more on the expensive side, but you know, Christmas comes up in the wintertime, or if you have like a summer, spring sale or whatever, these are almost always available, the winter scents during the summertime. And so, it might be a good time now to pick these up and stockpile them for the winter. So yeah, guys, that was my summer / fall and winter cologne recommendation for people that live down in the South. And so here, if you have any other recommendations for me to do on videos, please let me know, and please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.